Hello everyone and welcome to Bhrsa podcast. I hope you have already checked out our first episode on millets. If not, then I think you should go and check it out because it talks all about millets and every question possible you might be thinking or searching in internet. Your answer lies there. Coming back to today's episode. Today we are going to talk all about the origin of Bhrsa, how Bhrsa started, what is the story behind Bhrsa, and who better to talk about this than the founder and CEO of this organization, the face behind Bhrsa, the woman herself. Please help me welcome Ms.Shwetha Kotian.
Thank you so much. Before we begin this, although yes, as Batul mentioned, I am the founder and I wear a lot of hats, but I am shy and a little nervous when I have to come in front of the camera.
I can understand you well.
And
I can
speak.
understand.
Batul had a huge hand in convincing me to do this, and finally here I am on Bhrsa Health podcast, speaking about why we started and letting you know everything.
When I called her, let's do it and let's bring you on, she was of course a bit skeptical because she is a bit shy, and I can understand because I am also an ambivert kind of person. But that day she shared with me that I saw some video or something and now it's a sign. That video was also speaking about something similar and now it's a sign, so I'll say yes. And I was like, good.
Yeah.
We are doing it.
On the same day, I came across some video while scrolling through the IG reels, and it said how important it is for founders to come forward and share their story. The same evening, Batul calls me and she's like, let's do a podcast and you have to be the guest. You share the story. I was like, okay.
So who is Shwetha Kotian? Tell us briefly about yourself, what you were doing before Bhrsa actually started.
Professionally, before Bhrsa, I was working as a human resource person. And even there, I've worn multiple hats. So recruitment, performance management, payroll, many things. Recruitment, I don't know how many people have asked this question. Tell me about yourself. But I always had an empathy because I knew that's the most difficult question. I hope I can make justice to this question to me today. Let me take you back to where I was born. A beautiful small village in coastal land of Mangalore. I'm from Mulki, and I grew up with my parents and grandparents with a lot of nature around me. Today, we are so concerned about plant trees, don't pollute the water, don't throw the trash. But when I grew up in this village, all those concerns were alien to us. We did not know about it because there was a clean river flowing.
Already.
There is Arabian Sea, there is sand, there is a field, there are trees.
Nature was already nature.
Yeah, nature was just nature, and I'm grateful to be born in that land. I think during the growth years, something that also was a huge part of my making was my parents. So what we call today as rescuing, right? They were already doing it, but we did not know the word rescuing. If someone brings in cats and they just leave it and they migrate to another town and they would take in the cats. Same with the dogs. Birds which would get injured, we would help them and then set them free. And if in case they are just not in a capacity to go after releasing, then we take care. Nature, wildlife, animals, that bond was really strong. I think these were my very framing years. Post that, education happened. Now, my parents were not able to complete their education. If there is a lack in them, they want their child to do it, to fulfill it, because they felt that the society respects someone who has certain education. There is job security, there is income coming in if you have education, and they were not able to get it, so they wanted to provide it for me, and they did. Academically, I was good, but on the creative side, I had a plethora of things happening.
I can so relate.
Maybe crafts, it may be dancing, workout, yoga. I would just involve myself in a lot of different things other than the academics. And I think that also is a very strong foundation, because today when I'm leading a company, as I told, I wear many hats, and it's not just the academics that has helped me. I was working in a software company. Unfortunately, in the very first organization, I had to face a workplace harassment situation, which was pretty severe, pretty severe. At that point, I did not know about POSH. I did not know how I can be helped. Eventually, I was made to, pushed to leave the company. One function that was supposed to, look into the matter, HR. I was like, I want to be a good HR so that what happened to me does not happen to anyone else. I had no intention of doing HR, studying HR. It was just because of this incident and the grit. And I was working in the human resource field. HR is a very difficult job. I have to say this because, on social media, you see a lot of jokes that, people who put rangoli.
And we also think that HR is simple job, just you have to sit on desks, interact with people, that's it, send some mails, that's it.
For a person who is passionately taking up this profession, they have to manage the people side, employee side, they have to manage management side, higher authorities, they have to manage the admin side, they have to be gatekeepers of the company to ensure only the right skillful resources are coming into the company, and also they have to manage things going out of the company. If somebody is leaking information, confidentiality, all those checks, they have to do that. They have to play a strategic role. They also have to play these events and fun roles. So this is what I was doing before Bhrsa.
That brings me to my main question, that what inspired you to start Bhrsa? What is the story behind Bhrsa?
I call myself an accidental entrepreneur.
Wow.
Because I had no interest or intention to be an entrepreneur, and I always saw it as something which is very risky.
Yes, I can relate to this as well. Again,
as I was working in a corporate career, everything was going fine, but I think 2018, at the fag end of the year, is where I started showing some physical illness and symptoms. We would be in and out of different doctors, hospitals, clinics. So it would be like 9 to 6 is the job. So morning 6:30, I'm at hospital, finishing everything, going to work. And then evening, finishing work, and then going to hospital or clinic. Okay. Because it was just multiple issues, right from stomach pain, tooth pain, back pain, and nobody is able to tell me what is happening.
Pinpointly diagnosed.
Yeah. But they are giving me medicines, which are just for the symptomatic treatment. And that is not working because the root cause is not something else. Yeah, not addressed. It was a very hectic thing. At least 2 months we've been on this run without understanding what exactly is happening. It came to a gynecological, period problems. They find out that I have multiple cysts, multiple fibroids, endometriosis, everything under the sun.
Wow.
Yeah, I am constantly pushed to go in for surgery. The kind of doctors I met during this time, I'm almost scarred by this doctor, because I was open and vocal that I am diagnosed with depression and I'm going through these disease issues. And what she told me was, have a lot of sex and make a baby first.
Wonderful advice.
She, being a doctor, did not have the maturity or understanding to think that when I am harming myself, self-inflicting wounds, if you put a baby in my hand, what kind of care will I take care. Who knows if I hurt the baby? So these kind of people that I met during this phase made me really question if human beings respect a person who is alive and standing in front of them. Because if, be it your parents or anybody, doctor, if you're talking about producing a baby, the first thing that you should take care of or be concerned about is the person producing the baby.
Exactly.
Because only then a healthy baby is produced.
This
right?
is very important thing which you are telling out there to our viewers. Very important.
Yeah. But in our society, a lady is just look like a baby producing machine. And what does a baby look like is the question mark. For children growing up, they have these toys. Are our elders looking at a baby as their toy for their
entertainment?
Yeah. It's a big question to ask, because if they are not looking at a baby as just a toy, they will really take care of the people who are alive and standing in front of them, which is
the first priority.
Yeah, the mother, the father, the sibling, anybody. So all these kind of people really were breaking me from within, because already I'm going through a lot of issues and there is no solution that is given. They are not able to find the problem, and you're getting these kind of advices.
Of course.
2021, I got diagnosed with a lot of lumps in my jawline, my neckline, my shoulder. And there was a wrong diagnosis where they thought that I might be getting cancer.
Concerning.
Yeah. It is really difficult for me to talk about this even today. I am active on socials and I just say there was a wrong diagnosis, but I don't use the word cancer because it's so scary. This was during peak COVID, and what they told me was they were not being able to tell conclusively that it is cancer. So they told me, let's wait for 2 months so that it grows.
Oh my God.
So that it grows, and then we can conclusively tell and start the treatment.
This is heartbreaking, but this is the reality of the medical systems.
Yes. And there were multiple questions that were running through my mind. And now when you're talking about cancer, it's like you're talking about my life and death.
Of course.
And multiple questions like, if they are even making a diagnosis that it may be cancer, they're not starting the treatment now.
Yeah.
They want me to wait so that they are sure that it is cancer. Okay, may not be, chemotherapy and all those extensive treatments, but there can be something that can be started so that it does not grow further. I became hopeless. I was extremely sad, questioned all my life's choices. We humans definitely have a tendency to think that we have a long time on earth.
Yeah, even though we know we are nearing to death, but we never believe it.
Yeah, because we don't know how and when. I'm told cancer, it was like a life and death situation, and I just started questioning everything. Did I actually do justice by myself? Did I do things for myself? Am I happy in whatever situation I am? So there was a lot of hopelessness, there was a lot of sadness and uncertainty. But the same situation gave me a lot of courage. I cannot tell you, Batul, the amount of courage and fearlessness it gave me. Because if I am going to die tomorrow,
there's nothing to fear of.
No. So I am going to live the way I want. I am going to do whatever I want. And I am happy or not in today's situation, I am going to create an environment which makes me or gives me a little joy, so that if at all I am going to be out of breath, I don't have regrets, at least of the way I manage or the things I did.
This is a question we all need to ask ourselves. that if we are going to die tomorrow, what is that we want to do it today?
Yeah.
And not push it to the limit where we are actually getting the news that we are going to die tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely. We do a lot of things for others.
Yeah.
And our society just makes us think that, you're born to me, so you have an obligation to me. It's your responsibility to keep me happy.
Yeah.
No, it's nobody's responsibility to keep another happy. Your responsibility is to keep yourself happy. Ethical, moral values, wherein you're not physically hurting anyone. But when it comes to choices of education, how you want to lead your life, the kind of partner you want to be with, the kind of job you want to do, anything, those are all our life choices. And I think we should respect ourselves, have respect towards ourselves, to do right by ourselves. This entire situation gave me a lot of courage and a lot of fearlessness. And the first thing that I did was I quit my job.
Wow.
Because my thought was, my health is going haywire. I don't know if I'm going to be alive or not. The doctors are not helping me. It was very clearly visible for me that I was not getting help. Because even when the depression was diagnosed, I was put into antidepressant. Okay? I was given it for 2 months. I stopped taking it in 1 week. My partner was scared and he was like, the doctor has given it, please take it. But today I can tell you that with the awareness that I had and the consciousness that I had, I took the right decision. Because the pills were just putting me into a bad sleep. It was not curing anything. Nothing. Afterwards, I met a lot of people who were on antidepressants. And, they got diagnosed with different issues like obesity, thyroid issues, as a side effect
Of the pills.
of the pills. And did it cure the depression? No. I am not advising against the pills, but if it is not an extreme circumstance,
Be mindful.
doctors who are advocating the pills also have to be mindful, and the person who is a patient also has to be mindful if the doctors are not taking responsibility. Post getting off my corporate career, the first thing I dived into was nutrition. I took up nutrition courses and started experimenting with clean food, good food on myself with an intention to hopefully clear things. And in the meantime, I told you they were pushing me into surgery. I somehow took a time of 8 months. I told 8 months, if I delay the surgery, will things go really bad? This was my gynecological issue. And they told me 8 months is fine. We can do surgery afterwards. So I was like, okay. And I was in the lowest, most unhealthy part at that point. First thing was nutrition. And then I started learning holistic wellness. Whenever you talk about the term holistic wellness, people think it is so vague.
Yeah.
What is it, right?
Very generic.
Very generic. But it is so unique and it is so beautiful because it comprises of your sleep, your brain health, your physical health, whatever you eat, the kind of environment you are in, the kind of products you're using day to day, and circadian rhythm, gut health. There are a lot of wings when you say holistic wellness. And it is not at all vague. It's just a very vast subject, I would say. So to grasp it as, a list is difficult. But it is something that I think everyone should be inclined to and curious to find out.
And it's not just about wellness of body. It starts with wellness of your mind.
Yes.
Your psyche.
Yes.
It all starts
Spiritual
with
level.
Spiritual
yes,
level.
Definitely.
So just paying attention to body and neglecting mind, neglecting psyche, neglecting emotional wellness, neglecting spiritual wellness
It does not work.
doesn't make sense actually.
Yeah. During my healing journey, there were multiple of these wings that I studied and I started implementing on myself.
That's pretty beautiful.
The root cause of all these issues, which none of the doctors were able to find, or my near and dear ones were not able to find, eventually, because of me implementing all these things and working on myself day in and day out, I got an awareness of the root cause of the problem by myself. I had a podcast recently, and there I spoke about tuning in with nature. Tuning in with nature is nothing but tuning in with yourself.
Yes.
And by practicing different wings of holistic wellness, whichever works for you, you're tuning in with yourself. That is all you're doing.
True.
It's very simple. It's very simple, but complicated.
Because we have gone way beyond it.
We have
Otherwise,
gone away from it.
away from it. Yeah.
I always use this example because if there is an earthquake or a tornado or a tsunami, we see how animals behave. We see their pattern. They are able to sense it, and they are able to do everything that they can to protect themselves. Even the tribal people in Andamans, I think during tsunami, they were able to sense it and they were able to save their tribe. Why we are not able to do it? We must question.
Being the most evolved living
Advanced.
species
Yeah.
on the planet,
Yes.
still we are not able to sense it beforehand. We already have that, but we have gone too away from it because of
Yes.
the clutter we have surrounded ourselves, the mental, the physical clutter.
That's a good way to tell it. Definitely, we've gone away from it because of the clutter. So decluttering
Yes.
and just being and understanding you, nobody else. That is what you're doing using holistic wellness. I am filled with gratitude to whatever it is in the universe because I had this awareness at every stage and I was ready to experiment because life and death.
Yeah.
So what
No
goes?
choice.
What goes in experimenting, right?
Yes.
So I started experimenting it on myself, and 8 months, I went back for the checkup. And when I went back, every issue on a physical, symptomatic level, except for one, had cleared. I cried that day, and I wouldn't say it was completely out of joy, because I know the struggle behind even the healing journey. At one point, I did not have the will and wish to live. The only thing that stopped me was thinking about my parents because they're amazing parents, and I was the center of their
Life.
universe and life. And which is not a good thing, but but still,
But stating the fact.
yeah, I was very aware of, all the things they had to do to just raise me, protect me. And am I going to throw away my life because of some issue, because of, falling so low? And so the struggle was something that, it was not completely with joy that 80% I'm healed, but, that entire experience was crunching and crushing.
It just broke in that moment.
I had a fibroid which was 7 centimeter at detection. So something with fibroids that I learned is within 4 centimeter, if you find it, there are ways naturally you can get rid of it. But beyond 4 centimeter, it's a muscle mass.
Yeah.
So as long as the blood flows in the body, it will grow slowly. I underwent a surgery, fibroid laparoscopy for it. And my doctor was really nice, who did the surgery.
This time.
Yeah. It's told that it's nothing. The surgery is nothing. Half a day you can go back home. I did not go back home in half a day. 3 days I was in the hospital. And even after that, after I came home, I was like that. Because the core is
Of course.
where 4 stitches are there. And 2 months, I had severe pain. You know, you get cold, you get cough. You just can't do that.
Hurts.
Yes, it's horrible.
Oh my God.
I wouldn't wish anyone to go through that pain, honestly. Now, coming back to the question, why did you start Bhrsa?
Bhrsa.
This journey of mine. The healing journey, yes. But again, the pain journey. My goodness, I wouldn't wish it upon even enemies.
Of course.
I don't want anyone to go through it. My only thought was, how can I help people to understand that there is cure that is very simple. There is solution. Of course, our mental health is very important. Our brain has the capacity to generate these symptoms to show the dislike of environment that we are in.
Of course.
Or the situation that we are in.
Very
or the
well
people.
put. Very well put.
Yeah. We manifest it. We can do it.
Yes.
Complete ability. But again, something that adds on to it is toxins. Today, if we have to talk about environmental toxin, air, water, soil.
Everywhere.
3 most important, right? Elements, and all are polluted. Now, I put in 4 months of research if I can do something in these areas. And after 4 months of research, something that I understood is this is too vast for me. A nobody like me putting a foot into this world and fighting with the biggies is not a possibility that I see.
At that time, it's not feasible.
No. This is where I diverted my attention from the big planet toxin to house toxins. 4 corners of the house. I'll focus here. I hope you'll be able to understand what I'm telling, because who generates demand? People.
Yes.
Me and you.
Yes.
Now, I'll give an example of course I can't name brands, but I'll just give an example of floor cleaner.
Yeah.
Amount of toxins that the conventionally available floor cleaners have is really bad for our health.
Of course.
And environment's health, because we'll mop the floor and then we'll throw the water outside.
Yes.
Or into the drain. Sometimes when we educate children about this, when we ask them, where do you throw the water after mopping? Drainage. From the drainage, where does it go? It'll go back to the soil or water bodies. So they are not able to connect it. So, okay, coming back to floor cleaners, right? If in a plot there are 100 houses, if 90 houses are able to understand the toxicity that floor cleaners have and are able to switch to natural, eco-friendly floor cleaners, the demand is generated for the natural floor cleaners.
Yes.
Right? So here, inside our houses, there's a choice happening. But outside, the biggies, when I say biggies, the factories, the government, regulating bodies, for whom money is important.
The middle people.
Yeah. If the people are all buying this, why will they set a factory of the other one?
Yeah, right.
People need to think like that. People think that it's just one toothbrush, it's just one straw, it's just one floor cleaner. But your choice adds on to that 90 houses.
Exactly. It's era of instant gratification कि ये लो यूज कर लो बाद में देखेंगे.
Yes.
अभी जो मिल रहा है यूज कर लो.
Yes. And ये बाद में देखेंगे वाले जो लोग हैं, they are doing injustice to their own children.
Upcoming generations.
Yes.
Maybe themselves, but definitely their upcoming generations.
Yes. When you say upcoming generation, they will get lost because generation mass. But do they love their children? They do. Do they want safe earth for their children? They do. at least think of your own.
Yeah, at least if not for others, think of your own loved ones.
Yeah. I think that would be a right way to, put into their brain as to why that their choice is important.
Yes.
This is what I shifted my attention to. One part of holistic wellness, which I myself implemented during my healing journey, was using low-tox products inside my house. Toothpaste, floor cleaners, your laundry liquids, all of these, because there is a reason. All these toxic products, they have estrogenic compounds. Body has estrogen receptors.
Yes.
Our body produces estrogen. But what happens when extra estrogen is getting into the body? Lumps.
That's a pretty important piece of information.
And I told it very simply.
Yeah.
Lumps.
Yeah.
Today, the amount of people that get lumps here, there,
And the lumps
cancer.
can be the externally visible lumps or the internally produced lumps, which we call cancer.
Yes.
Yeah.
I tried to make it really simple so that people can understand.
Yeah.
Of course, I am not a scientist to explain in detail, but I have understood the cause and effect of these toxins. And that is what we try to educate people on. And that was the beginning of Bhrsa. So one intention with which I started Bhrsa was, I don't want anyone to go through the pain that I went through. I want to avoid people going into hospital. Because if you go and stand in front of hospital, India people are price sensitive is something that, I hear a lot. So what are you price sensitive about? Quality of life?
Anyways, money is going to go either in hospital or your healthy, wealthy life.
So it's your choice.
Yeah.
How you want to spend your money.
Beautiful way of leaving this question with this note, that this comes back to all our choices, that what we are choosing. We are saving money right now as instant gratification, choosing these conventionally, commercially available products without switching, turning it and seeing the ingredients just for the sake of maybe saving money, maybe saving time.
Or it is available everywhere
Easily available. And then later, we are the only people who end up going to hospital, going to doctor every now and then. And we need to make a choice right now.
Yeah.
What kind of life we want.
Yeah. Definitely question, because easily available, we say, of course, these MNCs have the money, they have the power to put that product right under your nose.
Yeah.
So that you don't even have to bend, you just have to, pick it up like that. Bhrsa is doing something different.
You chose this name Bhrsa, which sounds to me, and maybe our viewers can also relate, very unique, very attractive. What's the story behind choosing this particular name?
I'm laughing because it is unique, it is attractive, and people can't pronounce it.
Even I was like, Bhrsa?
Bhrsa? Yes. Yes, very true. So I always say, hopefully, if we are loved, supported, and adopted by people, so that the business can stabilize, or hopefully, if we get a funding, we will allocate marketing funds, and the first marketing activity that we will do will be around the name.